So this is going to be an interesting one. I don't like to do negative shows, talking about the negative parts of things. And it's just rare that I have a reason. Well, I shouldn't say it's not rare. It's rare. Happens sometimes. But I don't like to get neggy on places. And, I don't want to do any damage to anybody's business. So I don't really go in on places. Towns or restaurants or whatever. If typically if something that I just don't care for, I just stay quiet. I don't get into the negative parts, because then I've started telling, you don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like that. Okay, well, that's somebody's personal problems. That's your personal take. Maybe 1,000 other people love it. You just happen to be not one of them. So take that what it's worth today. We did a show probably 3 years ago. We did a show on the ideals of dining. What we consider to be the tenets of dining, a good dining experience. And I saw this on a list recently. You should check it out if you like that sort of thing. You should give a listen. This is kind of a recap of that in a sense. Because, we went out to a place out in CarlsBAD this last weekend. And we decided, so how did it all start? I don't recall how it started. Do you remember why we ended up in CarlsBAD?
Yeah, because you didn't really want to go to the couple restaurants that we were kind of thinking about in Oceanside.
Okay, so
we just kept driving.
I have a new appreciation for Oceanside. We moved there in 2001. Then we left about 2008. And it was a different town then. Just, so long ago. A lot of things have changed. Hotels went in, lots of new businesses and restaurants, especially one. Honorable mention, Miranda is got to be now my favorite restaurant in Oceanside. Of all the places that are there, it is by far my favorite. And it is, to me, the benchmark for what restaurants should be. And it also is a benchmark for the dining experience that you want, that everybody should want. I mean, I should. Everybody, when you go someplace, what are your expectations in going to a restaurant? You're going to spend your money, your evening, and you're going to spend your time there, and you've chosen this place, and it's for all of its great things that it supposedly has, and you're going to go find out, right? So you kind of go in from the street, looking at the aesthetic from the outside, and to see, oh, okay, this is what they represent on their outside building. Okay, so they kind of alludes to what's going to come inside. Then you look through the windows and you see the hub of activity or lack thereof to kind of get a sense as to what's going to be going on inside. And then it's the greeting at the door, how they greet you, how whomever is standing there waiting to greet you and seat you, that person will be there to make or break that part of it. Then you kind of get a visual of, you kind of pan the room, whether it would be a camera or with your eyes. You pan the room to kind of pick out where you're going to want to sit. This corner, like, for example, we're in Miranda. And when you walk in there, you have a maitre d' standing right at the entry. It's great. To the left, you kind of see this, the wine racks of all the different wines that are going to have in there for you. Then you get a little area of a view into the kitchen through the small window behind kind of the bar area. And then you see the bar kind of running along the wall there, and then into another little dining nook, which the nook has a completely different vibe than the bar. Like, the bar to me in Miranda has this, it's got an oak bar, if I recall, and it's kind of got this, I don't know, 90s vibe to me, like from anywhere. Then you go off into the little dining nook, and it's kind of painted in these kind of browns and kind of a blue, and got these cool little light fixtures.
Rusty.
But I'm just saying, it's got. If I have pictures, I have pictures. It's kind of purpley blue with a. I don't want to argue about it. I'm simply telling you, this area has got a very interesting nook area. It's got a very interesting look to it, and it gives me this vibe of being anywhere in the world, because the colors are so unique and the combination of them, and then it makes me feel like I could be in any part of the world, anywhere. I could be in Cuba. I could be in. I'm whisked away somewhere because of the light fixtures, the age of the kind of the tables, the color scheme that they've chosen, the archways in that nook. And then if you turn to the right, it's a wholly different experience because it's just a big dining room, and they kind of have their own separate vibe. So what's great about the place is that you can sit in maybe 4 different places and get a completely different visual from that perspective, and feel a different experience possibly. So, as you can imagine, as I've just kind of alluded to, this is important to me. This variable experience is important. So, when I go to the restrooms, I look to see how clean it is, how well kept it is, what they are doing in the wallpaper. Like when we go to Two Travelers in Temecula, another great wine bar. In the restroom, I don't know what it's like in the ladies' room, but in the men's room, it's got the coolest. I don't know. It's like one of those mystical cat creatures on the wall, but it's a really cool wallpaper with this kind of whimsical looking cat with a weird tail. It's almost, if under the right circumstance, it could be psychedelic, you know? So these things that maybe nobody cares about but me, I find it to either, it kind of completes the evening. It completes the experience of the whole place. If you had great food and great service and you go to the restroom and it's a mess, could your experience change? Yeah, it could. Your idea about the place, your expectation, your understanding of what those people are going through, what they're doing to create your evening. Now, in my opinion, there are restaurants out there that look at all these different details the way that I might, and they do things to complete your evening. I mean, I hate to bring it up again, but Houston's. When I first started going there, the 90s, early 90s, this is long before screens and iPhones and all this other stuff, but it's a beautiful place, very urban, very, very contemporary, a lot of stone, a lot of lighting, a lot of, metalwork on the ceiling, on the walls. And when you'd go into the restrooms, it was a long hallway with nice, soft green carpet that would lead you down into the restrooms with the glass window on the frosted glass windows on the doors, and you'd walk into this area of really dim lights, real nice and clean, and then right above the urinal on the wall, there would be a newspaper, a USA Today, typically, in a framed glass window, so you could read whilst you are, relieving yourself. It was just that kind of detail is what really makes me have a great evening. So I like to go to these places and see what kind of oddities, what kind of unique takes, unique experience they're trying to create. I love all of that. So I guess you could say that I realized, having gone to CarlsBAD, having gone there, I realized that there's some things that I think are missing from that area. And we did a little tour of these restaurants in this area, and I was looking for this thing that I so much admire. Now, don't get me wrong. You could say, well, you're a little stuck in your ways. Maybe you have an old take on things. Maybe you, maybe you're a little rigid in your likes and dislikes. Maybe that's it. But you know what? There's lots of people like me, because I go and I see a place like Vigalucci's, and I understand there's 2 of them, and they have different vibes. Each one has a different vibe. In CarlsBAD, they have almost white glove service. If you walk down that main, I was looking in the restaurant, and that restaurant is so, wow. It is. I can't even say that I like it. It's almost like stuffy. It felt stuffy, because we're looking at that as a possible option. Why don't we go there? We haven't been to Vigalucci's or whatever. We haven't been there in 20 years. Why don't we go in there and see what that's like? It struck me as a very stuffy place. You know, the white tablecloths, the little candle on the table. Maybe I'm not that old. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not looking for the white glove service. You know, I'm looking for...
You are. You just don't want it to feel stuffy because that's what you expect.
Look, I'm not trying to go to the country club. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not looking to go to...
no, but you want good service.
What was the name of that place? You know, like if you go to Torrey Pines, you go to one of those fancy, places where it's very hoity-toity. You know what I mean? White glove service. Everyone's wearing a red coat. You know, the little jacket with the tie, and you know what I mean? I guess sometimes that's cool, but sometimes you're just going out for a casual evening. You don't need all that, to me. So when I was walking around Carlsbad looking for a place, what struck me is that everyone seems a little too casual. You know what I mean? And I get it. Everyone's trying to be cool, surfer guy, we're by the beach, and what's the big deal? I don't know how you use that mentality to achieve what I'm talking about. And I don't know. I don't know if it can be done. How can you be laid back? Hey, what's up, bro? We're all wearing flip-flops, and tank tops, and then have a kind of I don't know, sophisticated. Is that a word for it? I'm not saying elegant. I'm not saying black tie and tails. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about casual cool. Is that a thing? Houston's for me is casual cool, right? Miranda, casual cool. It seems to me that in Carlsbad, there's just extremes. It's really extremes. You either have hoity-toity or you've got everyone's casual. Just what's up? Hey, yeah. What's up? You want on the table? Yeah, whatever, bro. You know what I mean? There is a string or stream of let's party hard. We found that. We found that twice. It was crazy to me because I love a place called Joe Jost's. We mentioned it before in Long Beach, California. It's been around since 1925 or so, and they've been doing supposedly exactly the same things since then. And it's one of those places that I don't know if it's an older crowd. I think it goes through generations. Because when I was there, when I used to go there in the early aughts, every manner of person went there. I mean, people took their kids there. They had pool tables. There's old guys. There's young guys. There's families. It's something that I don't see very often. And I don't know can you say that you've seen that anywhere else? Like, have you ever seen a place where you could take your kids and then old guys like, 70s, 80s, they're hanging out?
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't last. Like, we've been to places like that, and they don't.
Oh, well, no. I'm not talking about My Yard Live in San Marcos. I'm not talking about that. No. That was extreme. Yeah. That one even put me off. Okay, because it's now gone. But I went there a couple times. One time to check it out. I think it happened 4 years ago, and then another time recently, maybe last year, we went to just stop in to see if we had missed something. And we didn't. It was.
I feel like I've been to the place like where we took maybe in Palm Springs.
Oh no! There was a place called The Draftsman that was amazing. I hope it's still around. It was at the entrance of Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the food was so good.
There's places, but
casual, cool
places don't last. That they just don't last.
Well, Joe Joe's has. And if they can do it there, they can do it other places. Oh, let's do it for a second. Let's go backtrack a little bit. We started off in Oceanside. And I'd heard that Oceanside's popping. So I was like, okay, let me look it up online. And this is where, you usually do some looking, Googling and stuff. I'm not a big Googler. I like to go and let a place hit me. You know, if the vibe is right for me, if I see some things that are like something to look at, you know, something on television, you know, a nice view. I don't know. There's something that's attractive in there. You know, games. You know, you go to JoJo's. You got the shuffleboard, billiards. You know, something to do, not just sit and drink. You know. So we're looking around in Oceanside. We knew Miranda was there, and it took everything. We passed by at one point, and it took everything for me not to just go back in like that. And you were saying, well, no, we've already done the show, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but we could do another one. You know? So I looked up before we left. I went on the Google, and I punched in, you know, hot restaurants and whatever. And I came up with two of them. One called The Plot and one called Valle. And now that I think about it, there probably was one more. And I can't think of the name.
Sushi spot. I don't know about The Plot.
Matsuda? What? Matsu. Okay. And so I ducked my head into Matsu. This is before the crush or the rush of dinner. And it was, it seems very, it felt a little stuffy in there, first take. And it sounded very expensive. Because it's omakase, I think, like, which means they bring the food to you as you go. It seemed very pricey, like nearly, at the two of us, it'd probably been $500. That's what it seemed like.
Easy, because I think per person it was $225.
And I go, you know, who's affording that? You know what I mean? Like, again, a very rarefied air. Okay, so no, we're not doing that right now. Valle, that was one of those restaurants that's on top of a hotel roof.
Yeah, I think we've been to the bar, but we haven't eaten at the restaurant.
Okay, and I just, you know what? I guess I'm not in the mood. I wasn't in the mood for that experience. You know, going in, parking, having a hard time parking, then going up in an elevator to the top floor, getting out, and to me right now, that hotel vibe feels like you might as well be at Disneyland. You know what I mean? Like, they're not focusing on the food. And that could be wrong. And we'll find out maybe somewhere down the line. But it seems to me when those kind of places, they don't focus on the food. They focus on your view. It's all about the view. It's all about, you know, you're there with these other cool people. It's about the status. It's about being seen. You know, that's what, to me, those are like. And maybe Valles could be top notch and I'm missing out.
I have to say that, like, I don't.
It just seems like it wasn't approached. It didn't feel like approachable to me at that night.
I think one of the reasons why, though, is because it was very busy. You know, Oceanside has become really popular, and there's a lot of tourism now.
Yeah, straight up tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, being that it was Memorial Day weekend kind of thing.
Memorial Day weekend? It wasn't Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, just this last weekend.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, all right.
I think there was a lot more people there.
Okay.
And that, I think, put you off right away because, trying to get that parking and trying to go up to the top of that hotel.
You know what's weird?
It was crowded.
You know what's weird? Oceanside has always been busy, but when I first got there, it was all military.
Yeah.
Military right down at the beach area.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, they had lots of, you know, shops and things that young men would like, you know what I mean? Young military guys. And it wasn't a place that I wanted to raise kids in. It wasn't like, that is not what we wanted to do. It seems weird though, that now it's just been supplanted by a new busyness, you know, which is all about, you know, high rises and apartment buildings and it is the beach, but it's it was traded. And I don't know if I like what it was traded for. You know what I mean?
Well,
tourism. It's like, you know what? There was an old saying about Las Vegas. Some people question whether, was Vegas better when the mob ran it or when Disneyland or Disney bought in? Which one was better? They're both busy. They both have a style. But which one was better? Well, it seems like before Oceanside was kind of gritty and local, And now it's like, it's like I don't even know. It's not Carlsbad. It's not Solana Beach. It's just even different. It's like it's not even Venice Beach. It's its own thing because there are now these high-rise hotels and yogurt shops and like I don't know. It's like it's just a whole different animal, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, to each his own. I personally do like the change, but that's because you're right. When I was there on the military vibe, that was not me.
No.
So I wish it was more like this when we were living there.
Honestly, I'm glad we don't live there anymore.
Well,
it's just
really
it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's just too much in the different direction. It's nice to visit.
Yeah,
I'll go visit.
Exactly.
Is it? Do I want to do it all the time? I have to live around that? No, I don't know. It just seems a little too busy.
No, but
this town is becoming that way a little bit too.
No.
I don't mean right here, but it's soon enough. Soon enough, this town will be like that.
I like the option of having all these different restaurants, and so Oceanside honestly has come up a lot. So we thought, where CarlsBAD used to be that. CarlsBAD used to be the one with a bunch of options as far as restaurants.
You know what they don't have?
Go.
They don't have hotels. They don't have.
Who doesn't?
CarlsBAD.
Of course they do.
What hotels?
They have hotels all over the place. CarlsBAD is a bit bigger. It's spread out more.
Well, they don't have those high-rise hotels. You know what I mean? They don't have those high-rise, those tall, because Oceanside has, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 of those high-rise hotels now.
But when you say high-rise, to me, they're not that high.
Oh, for Oceanside? I mean, nothing's ever over 2 stories in Oceanside. I mean, seriously, come think about it. One hotel. They had that one hotel in the harbor that's been there forever.
Yeah, they have a few places, but CarlsBAD has a few too. It's just like farther down, like closer to Legoland, and they have stuff over there.
I don't know. Oh wait, down by Legoland.
That's what I'm saying. CarlsBAD is much bigger and spread out more.
Yeah. Okay.
So they've got a lot of like
damn chair
offices, offices, and so because there's more office buildings and technology, all that kind of stuff, they have hotels.
Okay,
they're just not near the beach over there where CarlsBAD Village Drive is, right? Well, that's more touristy.
They're just packing a lot of stuff right there in the downtown Oceanside area. Just flooded now.
Yeah, but Oceanside's not that big,
It's almost like to me like a Disney Walk, Universal City Walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of commercial, like it's just everyone's just selling hats and Oceanside's great, and it just I don't know, it's just
I think you said it before, which is I think it's its own thing because
it's its own animal.
It's not Venice Beach.
No,
it's not
Santa Monica. Well,
no, it's
not Santa Monica.
It's way too small for that. It's just a small little community, but they're packing a lot into it.
They're packing a ton in there. I guess the dogs want to get on the show too. He says CarlsBAD's great. I love it. Okay. It's weird. Everyone's got their own take.
Because like our kids love CarlsBAD. They like hanging out over there. They like going to restaurants.
I like the beach. I think the beach over there is beautiful. I think I used to love going in there early on. This is early 2000s.
Well, we had young children and we would go to the
I just liked it. It was good. It was clean. It was like different from Oceanside. It wasn't Solana Beach. It wasn't it was its own, I think to some extent it's just okay. So I guess what I'm saying is that each one of them has got their own kind of take and their own vibe.
Yeah.
CarlsBAD to me, it's a laid back beach community, and it's just really, I don't know. I was struggling to find something that really spoke to me, in CarlsBAD. I know there are places like what's the name of that called? Wild Acres. You've been telling me about it.
Oh, we haven't been. Wildland, right? I think it's.
That's what I said. I don't know. Wildland. No, you're right. Wildland. That sounds correct. There's also Campfire. There's also was Jus Jolie, the French, the hoity-toity French joint. Mm-hmm. What else is over there that really is, kicking like Bruce Lee?
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton of things.
Well, if there were, I think, I know there's Blue Ocean.
No, I've heard of, I've heard of a bunch of places that, our son loves Blue Ocean. I've heard of things that have been there for a long time, like Miguel's, that Mexican restaurant in CarlsBAD.
Okay.
Everybody always says, oh, that's good.
Okay.
Which I didn't even.
Where is that?
I don't know. Somewhere.
You love it so much. You heard so good things about it.
We don't go there. I don't really honestly like going to Mexican restaurants. If I can avoid them, I will.
I like to go to really cool ones. I mean, with awesome food, or
there
maybe
aren't
a good
any.
Talpa, you lost me. Right now, go to Talpa right now.
LA.
Okay, but I'm just saying. You said Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, in general though, I don't.
Name another restaurant that you'd go to that's Mexican.
Why are you doing that to me?
I don't.
You
don't have any?
None.
Wow.
Where would I go? I mean,
I don't know. I'm asking.
You don't even have one, do you?
Other than Talpa?
Yeah.
I do like Costera. It's Shelter Island. I don't know the food though, but I liked the view. The view is amazing.
We did have some food there, and it was good.
Yeah.
It's like upscale Mexican. It's not your traditional. Yeah. Well, what I know is traditional.
I don't know. I don't know too many like what they call upscale Mexican. I don't know them. If they're out there, well, tell me which one.
Well, like Costera. What's that one you took me to that has the really good tacos? Oh my! They have a chain. It's a chain. Oh, Puesto.
Oh, okay.
They had some really good
tacos. Yeah.
Pricey, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
We went there years ago. 5?
No, way more than that. Our kids were little.
Okay. 7?
I would say at least 10 years ago.
I would say no because we've only been doing the show not that long. So
did we do a show?
We did a show.
Yeah, but we've been there a couple times.
Yeah, but we went there. We kind of went hot and heavy at the beginning, and then haven't been in a while.
Okay.
So, anyways, point in fact is, that is upscale. That is my kind of place, Puesto. But it is so pricey. One taco is like what used to be $7 or $8.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we went for happy hour, huh? So it was not so bad.
What do you mean?
We would go like for Taco Tuesdays or something.
They were still $7 because it was they had bison or something. They had
it was like for on that day you can get a taco for like $4.
All I'm saying to you is that I don't know. There's certain foods I believe that are just not supposed to be pricey. You know what I mean? It sounds crazy. Well, why isn't this pricey? Well. It's a common man food. Yeah,
but it's the ingredients. Remember, they had duck tacos, lobster, filet mignon. They had what was the other one? I don't know, but they were fancier tacos, and I don't
doubt that. But you know what? I think what happens is sometimes they get blown out because of the rents and the staffing and the cost, the overhead costs. So they have to charge you $10 for a taco just to survive.
Yeah.
And that's where I get lost. I don't, what I mean? I'm not about it. Grubthusiast has always been started with food. Food first. If the food's awesome, then it's all downhill from there. You know what I mean? So a lot of these places, in my opinion, they don't start with the food. They start with location. And then, the view, and then, the dining room, and then, drink specials, and then staffing, cute people, and then the food. That's how it strikes me. And it's because you're selling all the rest of that first. The experience, the vibe, being seen, that sort of thing. If that don't matter to you, then what? What have you got? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. No. Anyways, CarlsBAD to me on that night, we were looking, and we found a couple places. We found, I don't know what they call it. Oh, what's the name of that place? Chewy's? No.
What?
What is it called? It's a famous, Cozumel? No.
Where are you talking about?
In CarlsBAD.
What kind of food?
Well, they were dancing. They were doing all that dancing.
Oh.
It's
no, Coyotes. Coyotes something or other.
That's been around for a long time.
It's been there forever.
You know what? And I'll tell you this right now. I think maybe when I was younger, we used to go by there and we'd see the same kind of crowd there was happening that night. And we were just a little too young at the time to go in there, I thought.
No, we went to that Coyote bar. We've been there many times.
Oh, no. Sorry. You've been there. I have not been there. And I have been there. No, I have not. I don't know what you are talking about at all. No, I'm being serious with you. I don't think I've ever been in that building.
Yeah.
Whatever. No. Listen, the reason why I remember this place is because we had a friend, Lane, from Kaisen, and he was a frequenter apparently down there. The thing about it is I'd walk past it and I'd be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It wasn't my scene.
It wasn't really our scene because it was, we were young, newly married, and
it looked like a single scene.
But we would, it was a single scene.
Yeah, I think it is now.
But we still went in and had drinks.
You're crazy. I never went in. No, I've never been in that building. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. You've gone. You have a different life without me. I'm totally good with it. But I've never been in that building. And if I've been in that building, it was so off-putting that I don't remember. That's where I'm at with it. You say, "Oh, you've been there 1,000 times." No, I've not been in there 1,000 times.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not. You did say that.
No.
You want to rewind it? Because you said you've been in there 1,000 times. I've not been in there 1,000 of anything. Especially, that a singles kind of a pickup joint. No, that's not that. We didn't do that. Maybe you did. But anyways, this place here had the same thing going on down in the entry level. They had, everybody was doing the,
There was a live band.
They were, they were doing what was that old saying? The white man's overbite. No, everybody was doing
that old.
Huh?
They weren't that old, were they?
I don't know. There was a vibe in there. Let's say that right now. And anyways, here's the weird part. I was actually going, I'd like to be closer to that vibe. You know what I mean? Because people seemed like they were having a good time, and I was like, you know what? I when I was young, before you, I used to go do that. I used to go to places and go dance with people. And I'm telling you, hadn't done it since. But I'll tell you right now, those people looked like they were having a good time. And I was like, I remember that. So anyways, but we didn't go. We did go upstairs and look around at some places, and none of them had it for me. None. We went to another place, a beer bar. What was it called?
The beer bar?
Yeah, the beer bar with the billiards table. You just said it. Boar's Nest? I don't know. There's a place that apparently has been around since the 50s.
Crossing.
Yeah, since the 50s. What did you say? They said they've been there forever.
They've been there forever. And the crazy part is, they don't advertise. They don't do anything like that. They've been there forever. And we've been to CarlsBAD so many times. The fact that we haven't been there. Again,
not really surprising to me.
Well, it surprised me because we like playing pool.
We do. But I'm telling you, this is another extreme here. Okay. Because when we went there at what time? 7 something in the evening? Mm-hmm. Okay. Still sunny out a little bit?
Barely. The sun was, going down.
It looked to me like you could get into a fight in there. Just a bunch of young dudes, playing pool and acting a little rowdy, and it hadn't even gotten started yet.
Yeah, I didn't get the vibe.
No,
there.
I'm just telling you right now, like you have to understand something. When you go, let me ask you a question. You and your best friend are going to go out for a beer, right? And you're going to go to CarlsBAD. Is that where you're stopping in?
Only if you want to shoot pool.
And you and your lady friend are going to go to this place and shoot pool with a bunch of these guys around.
I just said, if I was single and I wanted to shoot pool, I would. I take it back.
I didn't say you were single.
I didn't say you were single. I don't even care about it being. If I want to shoot pool,
okay,
and
you and Marie,
CarlsBAD,
you and Marie, and you guys are, choosing a place to go.
Yeah, well, we don't.
I'm asking you a question, for God's sake,
and I'm answering.
Okay, so just answer it.
I just did.
What is the answer?
If I want to shoot pool, I would go there.
Wow. Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I like
I don't believe you.
Pool.
I don't believe you. If
that was my goal, I need to go shoot some pool.
No one's. See, you're not a professional billiard hustler. You know what I'm saying? You are a person that casually plays pool now. You had a pool table when you were a kid. Mm-hmm. You always were, fairly, good without training. You could, get lucky and hit some nice balls in. Pop, pop, pop.
Get lucky.
Well, let's be real. I mean, you're not a hustler. You're not a.
No, I'm not a hustler. But I can play better than the average.
Who says?
Person that's never played.
Okay, so listen. Well. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. So I'm just saying, who you are today, you and a friend going out for an evening, a couple beers, have a little dinner. I don't know, go movie, and you're in Carlsbad, and you're just like, oh.
If I'm in Carlsbad,
what should we do? Let's see. We could go to Coyote. We could go to a sushi bar, Blue Ocean. And you know what we'll do? Let's stop off at the Boars and Honey. Whatever. What is it called?
Boar Crossing.
Yes. We're going to stop off there. Just hang out a little bit.
I always want to look for something to music, number one.
Okay.
And I wouldn't mind having some stuff. But no, that's not my ideal. That's for younger. I feel like it's a little bit too young for me.
I feel like this. I feel like that place was. I was even mentioning to the bartender. I can't remember her name right now, but she was nice.
Sunshine.
Okay. Yes. I was saying, man, you must be tougher than you look. You know what I mean? Because I said this thing right here is just simmering right now. I see the people are starting to fall in, you know what I mean? The normal, the regulars, and the kids are, popping off, talking loud and doing stuff. I said, it's only 7. I said, this place must be a testosterone filled time bomb at about 11:30. People have had a couple, I said,
but what did she say?
I don't
She said, no, it's not like that. If it is, it's very quick. Boom. Somebody.
Okay, wow.
It's so she doesn't have issues.
I felt like my testosterone was going up just being in the room.
Yeah,
I was, so
she said it wasn't an issue really, and if it's something very quick happens. Boom.
Okay,
down.
wow.
And
it's just for me it was just like
it's a great place for young people to go because I remember the drinks super cheap.
Oh yeah.
Super cheap
and not a big selection.
No, but it's for I said, younger vibe. Yeah. You just want to go have a simple drink.
So let's accept it. I've accepted it. Maybe you should too. We're beyond that. Okay, it's just it's like saying, you know what? I used to drive a 68 Bug, right, everywhere. It's like saying that, and now I've moved up to a Lexus.
Yeah.
Because my butt just doesn't take the bumps like it used to, or I don't like to get broken down on the side of the road every once in a while. I like, reliability and comfort. You know what I mean? That everybody comes to that point.
Yeah.
And in their lives, I think when they're young, it's like, hey, see, here's the weird part though. I drive an old '74 FJ40 Land Cruiser that's kind of always breaking down. It hasn't shaken from me. Maybe it's still. I like riding motorcycles. I don't know if I hope I never lose it. Don't get me wrong. I like reliability. I like comfort, but there's something about the adventure of getting into an old wrecked vehicle
okay. It's just like this. There's something about this. Okay. There's nothing wrong with us go shooting some pool and having a really cheap cocktail.
You know what? I'm going to let you and your friend go. And then, okay. So from there, we walked around a bit. You know what I tell you right now? Maybe you should call up some of your ex cohorts, the ones that you used to frequent Coyote with.
Yeah,
and you guys should go make a run at the Boar's Head and
I
go
think they're
to the
older
thing.
than I am. So
I'm just
probably
saying,
not a good idea.
Okay, well, you should get in touch with them because maybe they too haven't lost it. You know what I mean? But okay, I'm going to tell you right now. We went to I don't know how many places we went. 3,
at least. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You also have to be in a certain
no.
state of mind.
Let's be frank. I'm the same guy whether I go. I'm the same guy. I have the same ideals in my head of what I want to happen, whether I'm had 7 beers or I've had 1. I'm the same guy.
Okay, what did you think of the place that we ended up? And there was people from Valley Center.
See,
it was an Italian place.
Yeah, what was that? Okay, doesn't matter.
I'm gonna look it up.
Doesn't matter.
Fresco?
I don't know.
I think it's called.
You say so.
It looks like it's called 264 Fresco.
Okay. Do you know what's weird?
Yeah, that was it. 264.
You know what's weird about certain? Again, I don't know what's happening over there, but everything seems to have the same kind of vibe.
That one didn't. That's why.
No. I don't mean it has the same aesthetic. No, I don't mean it has the same aesthetic. But it's almost like the I don't know. I can't put words on it. I was thinking about this since it happened. I was thinking about, well, what am I going to say here? How am I going to say this in a way that doesn't sound like I'm just boo, boo, boo on CarlsBAD? It's not what I'm saying. I like CarlsBAD. But there's something that I am searching for 100% when I go out on a Friday or a Saturday to have a nice evening. I'm looking for it. It is the grubthusiast ethos, if you want to put it in that. I am looking for all the different pieces to be good. Now, what is that? Maybe I should talk about it. What are those expectations? Well, I'm expecting first and foremost to go to a place because I mean, you know, I'm gonna have expectation. You know what I'm expecting. You suggest places because you know what I like, what you like. And when we leave the house to go and spend money, near or far, you kind of have an expectation of what you're going to spend your money on. Now, if I go to a place and I see things that just look a little clumsy, like there's not a lot of care involved, it goes into the memory bank. And I look and I go, okay, let's see what else is going on. Then how they greet you. You know, is it, hey, I'll be with you in a minute? Or is it, hi, how are you? Would you care for a cocktail? Can we find you a table? You know, that little thing could be significant. Okay. And if you're just waiting and they don't seem to be bothered that you're waiting, because realistically you can walk out and they lose the business. So it would make sense to me for the restaurant or the people working there should be interested in that you have a cocktail in your hand, that you have someplace to sit, that how are you doing? You know, can we get you something else? I don't need you to beat me over the head with it because I've had my head bashed in by someone going, can we help you? Anything else? Can we help you? You need anything else? I've had that happen where they've just gone overboard. But these places to me seem like that's not even on their like the radar. It's like, yeah, what can we do for you? What do you need? Like, oh, you know the drink? Oh, okay. It's not. I don't. Maybe it's just me. But if I'm going to spend my money in your place, and sometimes a considerable amount of money, I think you should be really concerned about how I'm doing. And for that matter, anybody who's in the restaurant or the bar, you should be really concerned that, are you having a good time? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? You know, what can we do for you? Have you tried this? I love it when restaurants say that. Do you want to try this? Oh, you like such and such? How about have you had this? No. Here, let me get you a little piece. Do you understand? You know what kind of relationship that builds with your patron? It builds a loyalty in my mind, because I'm like, you're so smart in my mind that you are thinking about how well I'm doing, and you want me to try the goods that you have. What if you just leave it to the point where, like, we went to that finca? What's it called?
Finca. Oh yeah.
What was it called? Finca?
There was a place.
No. What was the place we went to in CarlsBAD? You just said it. Fizzy?
Oh, in CarlsBAD. 264 Fresco.
Okay. I didn't even try the food. You ordered something. And I was like sitting at the bar and I'm like, you know, this is not hitting it. It's not hitting it for me.
Oh yeah. I ordered crispy artichokes.
And now you have a chance to tell me how good it was.
I enjoyed that. But then again, I was hungry. But it's just an appetizer. It was just a quick appetizer.
But it was excellent?
It was good.
Okay. And I guess when I'm going out spending my money, I'm not looking for good. I'm not looking for okay. I'm looking for excellent.
I should have taken you to that place on State Street.
That great street?
State Street. It was called Nick's on State.
Okay.
I should have taken you there.
Okay.
I think I just saw pictures of it because I was like, oh, we should go there, but we didn't because we were across the street from that at the where we started off. Where it's like there's June and Jolie, and there's the
whatever
that's whatever's on
Campfire.
Yes, Campfire. Yeah, and across the street was that Nick's on State, which is more like a steakhouse, but it's very dark. You couldn't quite see in it.
Okay, but this is what I realized. Okay, I realized in this experience, I don't want to be rigid. I don't want to have this thing where he only likes to go to these one kind of place where, it has to. They have to pet his hair and say he's pretty. I'm not saying that has to happen.
You just want it to.
Well, no. I just feel like there has to be a situation where I have to feel that the restaurant and its employees are thinking about my experience. I have to feel that, and there's several ways to indicate it. You know what I mean? Because that forms a bond. It's almost like, it's like the creature in Avatar? When you go and you take your braid and you put it with their braid and you've made a bond. That's when I love places. Like Miranda. I mean, I don't want to go around about it again, but they hit all the marks. Bam, bam, bam. And it was so great because it was like, you've done enough. Boom, they do it again. Oh, hey, you guys are really, boom, they do it again. You're like, oh my God, now you're force feeding me a good time. Okay. But if you're not even going to.
Okay. So the point is that you didn't find anything like that.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that I just don't want to be rigid about it. Okay. And I have to start categorizing things like, okay, if we're going to go have hot dogs, I got to be able to say, okay, I got to put this in the hot dog level. Here, we're at hot dogs. Or we're going to do tacos. We're going to compare to other tacos.
Yeah, you do need.
And we're going to do pizza. We're going to do compare to other pizza. But when it comes down to it from a personal level, these things have to exist for me to really like your place. These tenets have to exist. And when they don't, I'm just like, okay, now what am I grading you on? You're leaving me to grade you on specifically the food. And if your food's not top notch, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. I feel like when you do all these different things right, then it gives me an opportunity to grade you on all this glory. I can talk about all these great things. It's not just about the food. It's not just about the view of the harbor. It's not just about the cute waitress. It's not just about the beautiful windows, the great, design of the restaurant or whatever. You're just filling your card full of all these fantastic things to talk about. When you go to a place and it's just got one thing, it's in a rough neighborhood. They have no parking. You have to stand in line for an hour, but the tacos are off the chain. I'm not going to get there. I may get there one time and go, oh, the tacos are fantastic, but there's really no other substance. There's nothing else to even pay attention to, nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to do.
Okay, well then I guess I'm going to disagree with you in one regard when it comes to CarlsBAD, is that if you don't like the vibe in one spot, you can move to the next, and you've got a lot of different options.
Okay, we'll have to. So, I don't know when I'm revisiting.
No, I know. I'm just saying for people like we used to go to CarlsBAD a lot, and we ended up across the street from Fresco because it was going to be a bit of a wait. Across the street was a place we used to go 20 plus years ago. They changed the name. It was a Mexican place. It was never good It was never good food.
Okay.
But but the vibe, we used to have fun over there. We'd sit out by the fire pit. We'd have margaritas.
What you're talking about is literally 20 some years ago.
I know. But what I'm simply saying is that if you're not happy with one place in CarlsBAD, you can move on to the next.
We did that.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. There's lots of options.
No. Look, Carlsbad's a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure for a lot of people, like, oh my God, Campfire is so amazing. I've been there. It's not. I went to, and I'm just saying, It depends on what your idea of amazing is.
Personal preference. Yeah, I agree.
But
Campfire,
let's be real. But let's be real about it. If I ask you, tell me the amazing things that you are saying this is amazing for.
Yeah,
just tell me.
It's
and
not
then
that
you can't.
Yeah, I can't say that. Oh my God, they have the best food or best restaurant.
Nope.
No, but what I can say is that there are many options and they are good. Like I remember the one place that I was like, oh, let's go back to this place. Unfortunately, it closed down during COVID. Again, it was a great wine bar. It was like
great. It was the nicest place I've been to in CarlsBAD.
Yeah, it was a great little wine bar.
Yeah, and it wasn't popular. And when we were there, it wasn't banging. It was a couple times. We went a couple times, and one time it was really busy, and the other time it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, it wasn't like it was, ooh. So again, I have to reevaluate what my likes and dislikes. And I need to figure out how to be objective when those things don't exist. How are you going to maintain what you're there? What are we there for? So again, if you leave it just to food for like enthusiasts, it's just about food, you've already lost. I'm just saying. You already lost.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a dining experience, no. Okay. What are we basing this on? That's what I need to get at. What are we basing? What are we going to, what criteria are we going to base it on that is going to make it so that it can win? It's almost like saying, it's like saying, hey, you know what? We're lowering the scores in schools. You know what I mean? We want more kids to do well and get A's. So we're going to lower the bar. We're going to lower the bar down here. Okay. So now everybody who's getting C's is now getting A's. That's what's happening. That's what you have to do. I feel strange about it. I don't know how to do it. I'm trying. If anybody knows how to do it, tell me. But in my opinion, there's so many few restaurants that are doing amazing work, like amazing food, like stuff that is inventive, something that is fresh, something that is a different take. I mean, you could do tiramisu, right? Been around the dawn of time. But if you're doing it differently, like if you want to talk about something, speaking of tiramisu, I've had a great one at that place called, what was that place? Cesarina over in San Diego. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. I love it. I also love the one that's completely different in Culver City at Ugo. Incredible. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to narrow this down so that I can be objective to some extent and overlook the things that may not be important or not. But if I'm spending my money and imagine people who are going to spend their money, I feel like I don't want to go to a place that doesn't have at least 5 out of the 10 criteria that I'm going off of. If I'm walking around, I'm going, well, let's overlook that. All right, don't overlook that. The server was not even paying attention to us. We had the first thing. It was all right. They have beer special. I don't know what I'm basing my opinion on now. If it's strictly food, 90% of the places are not doing it right, in my opinion. They're just doing it, they're just pushing out food. Just here. We need tacos here in town. Okay, we'll make a taco. What are they doing? They're just doing it. If you're if there's no competition, there's no bar being set. Like right now, that place called Farm to Smash in Escondido, East Valley Parkway, they are setting a standard for what burgers should be in Escondido. They're not a fast food joint. They're not pumping out a Big Mac or a Burger King or a whatever In-N-Out. They're doing something special for the area. And so the point is I'd like to have more of that. I'd like to have more of people with a vision, somebody who is really thinking about the ingredients, thinking about the service, thinking about the location, thinking overall about the person that's coming through the door and what kind of experience they're having. It sounds crazy, Jack. You're just over the top. You're ridiculous. Oh, I know. I'm not expecting every place to be Houston's or Miranda, but you got to have some of it. You got to have some of it. Unless your food is just incredible. If your food is just otherworldly,
then who cares?
then then you have to just shut up and go. You know what I mean? But if it's not otherworldly, if it's not undeniable, then what? What are we going off of? Then we're looking at the rest. We're looking at the rest of the things that may are the parts and pieces of it. You know?
Well, I truly believe we need to give CarlsBAD another shot, and you're going to let me plan this one out, because just based off of some things that I looked at right now, I'm like, oh yeah, we didn't even pass by that street. We skipped, we went around.
Okay, first and foremost, we don't know about all the places that exist in any town. We don't have the funds and resources unless, someone wants to send us some money on Patreon or, help us out and support the show somehow. Go like and subscribe so you hear more of this nasally drone. But that's how we would do it. We can't go to every place. We can't visit every restaurant there is. We would love to, but it's just impossible. Now, tell me an experience that you think we're missing. Something. You just said there's a restaurant you would take. What is it?
Oh, there's several. So I would take you to that Nick's. I would take you to you mentioned Mexican. This one looks really cute. So I'm like, oh, I would totally go there. It's also something fresco. Hold on. Fresco Cocina or Cocina. Fresco Cocina. I don't know.
There used to be a wine at the store I used to work at. Fresco Bodley.
There's also, I passed one. I just looked at it.
That's all right. We'll deal with it later. But, okay. I don't,
Of course, I wanted to go to that Wildlands still. There's a really upscale
by the way,
one behind it.
By the way, I heard from your friend. Was it your friend that said it? That had been to the Wildlands?
Which one? Because one said yes and one said it wasn't as good.
Yeah. And they said that they also felt the same way about Campfire, which is associated to Wildlands.
Yeah, I know.
So
I still want to go. I want to go look at it. I don't know.
See, that's why. But again, that's.
What?
I think reviews to some extent are just wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the thing about it is, if you agree with me or us, okay, you listen to the show, you go there or you've been and you go, yeah, you're right. Okay, then you're a enthusiast. But if you are one of those people that says, no, place, you got it totally wrong. I know the owner. He's a great guy, or she is a great lady. And they treat us so good. Every time they see us, they greet us and blah, blah, blah. And all of my friends go there. My niece, she's married to the so-and-so and daughter, you know what I mean? And we always have a great time. I get it. You have an in. Yeah, you have an in. Mm-hmm. You have family. You can have
fun at a lot of these places if you have the right people with you. So it's.
I don't think it's about people. It's not about people for me. I don't need to have the right people. I need to have the right experience. Mm-hmm. I need to go into a place.
But I'm saying you might overlook a couple things if you have the right.
I really am not. No, I'm really not. You know what? We went to Two Travelers with friends and their kids and family a while back, and we didn't sit at the bar where we like to sit. We sat in a little room off to the side, and it was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Very
good time. I didn't have to look over anything. Mm-hmm. I'm saying to you, if you're going to overlook things, then you're just diminishing what it is. You know what I mean? Oh, we had great tacos, but oh my God, the place was dirty. Place the server sucked. I don't know. Go on and on. I hate doing these kind of shows, by the way. I hate being negative about things and saying, oh, this and that, bop, bop, bop. I hate it because I want to just talk about all the great things.
Yeah.
I do. Mm-hmm. I want to have a great time and I want to talk about it. That's my whole goal. But when you got to say, oh, well, this and this and then this. I don't know. There's two ways to look at this. Either somebody from CarlsBAD could hear this and go, well, let me look at this. Or, that guy's crazy. He's full of crud.
I remember we used to go, and I don't know if it still exists. We didn't drive past it. What was that Irish pub that was there too?
I don't know. O'Reilly's or O'Sullivan or I don't know, something.
That used to be, it was
all right. Again, it wasn't any different than...
And we probably went with those same people to Coyote.
No, you. I don't know what you're talking... Look, if we went in 22 years ago, then it wasn't memorable enough for me to go.
Yeah. I like to go where there's live music. I like to go where there's...
I love
good drinks.
Yes. I do not like... what I do not like, I guess, at this point in my life, having been to what you're talking about, a place like it. See, we went to a place like what you're talking about, what I imagine the Coyotes like, a place in Lake San Marcos.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was way better.
Why wasn't it?
Because it's way better.
What's way better?
Coyote.
It's way better than the one we went to. It had live music, outside, bar.
Still better.
Why?
It just was a better vibe. It's just different.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you know? If you say it's better, it's better. But you know what we do? This is gonna be funny though. We're gonna walk into what we ever get to the Coyote. If we ever get there, we'll walk in and they're gonna see you and they go, "Hey, V, it's been 12,000 years. Where have you been?" And I'll be like, and they'll be like, "Who are you?" And I'll be like, I've never been here before. That's gonna be funny. It tells you about a whole other life you had around before. So, anyways, yeah, you know what? I have a thing about restaurants. I do feel that they should be really concerned about your overall experience, and that means the way they manage the people. If there's drunks, they should keep them down. They should manage that. They should manage the overall. They should be managing the experience.
Well, I agree with you, but I do. After going to Oceanside and going to CarlsBAD, I do feel like the areas where we're going, they're so touristy now.
But that's why I don't want to go.
I know, but I'm just simply saying they are so touristy.
But that's why I said it was like Universal City Walk.
That's the reason why the service isn't as great.
I don't even know. Well, it doesn't make sense then, because here's the thing.
Unless you're going to an upscale restaurant, I just don't. Yeah, okay. It's not going to be that.
Well, then I don't need to go.
So
I just don't need to go. I mean, let the tourists enjoy. I don't need to go there. I'm not. We went to a place over there, the hilltop on top of a hotel, and it had a beautiful view, except the bar. Remember the bar we went to? We were
that's the one we're talking about. The Valle.
Is that the Valle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well. All right. Well, look. Enough of this. Everybody has to get on with their day, including us. Mm-hmm. We want to keep doing this. We want to keep bringing you some of this nasally drone and these perspectives on our dining experiences. We hope you do like the show. We hope you get something out of this. Anytime that you've got
sorry if this one was a little negative, but
if you've got some advice as to what we're missing out on, we definitely would go and we definitely will give our take on it. And maybe you're like, don't. Stay away. And that's cool too. But you know what? We're looking for places like we described. Let's say across the board. It's just, we hope that if you want us to come to your restaurant and you want us to go and go again, look, if you want us to come and just have the one experience and leave and be done, and you'll find your tribe somewhere and you don't need us, that's cool. But if you do care about your business and you care about having people come back and back and back, well, I hope that you care about the experience we have there. That's all. I think I should care about everybody's experience. Anybody that comes through your door is potentially a lifelong customer. And if you treat them right and you provide good things that people like, and good food and good ambiance and good activities, they'll come back and back and back. I won't have to say a word. My words will mean nothing. So
I just remembered the place that we liked.
What's the place?
It was Oak and Elixir.
Oh, yeah.
In CarlsBAD.
Yeah.
Just a nice little wine bar.
I don't even, was it a wine bar?
Yeah, it was a wine bar. So if if there's other bars like that, let us know.
You know, I really just can't tell you, man, how I love wine bars. I think wine might be my favorite now.
I was going to say, I really think that is your thing. You really do like more of that intimate kind of atmosphere.
But see, I've had intimate experiences in a big wide open place. We used to go to Jerry's Deli in Marina Del Rey back in the late 90s. We had a great time in this huge place. It was like a warehouse.
Yeah.
And we had a great time. It's not about the location. It's not about it. What it's about is that the management or the ethos of the people in that they've been told, look, the customer is why we're here. If they don't have a good time, then this place will cease to exist. That's what they've probably been told. So that's what I believe should happen. That's it. So have a great day. Go to our pages. And even if you don't like it, go there, hit subscribe, hit like, go to our website, put some comments on the shows, go to our YouTube channel, follow us. We appreciate it. And we'll be talking to you soon. Be nice to each other.